We in?
We in, bro. We're live.
What you saying? What you saying, everyone who's watching? Probably not that many people yet. But first long form video. What better way to do it than to have the man himself on, LB? It's been a crazy last 12, 24 hours for City. So it just feels like the right time, man. What you saying?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, you're doing a long form video, so you're not rattling people anymore, isn't it?
Innit? I know. I can't bait people with just like little baity clips in it. I've got to actually talk about things at long form in it. But I mean, we've been arguing in the group chat all morning anyway, so I thought we might as well do it so people can listen to us waffle this morning or this afternoon or whatever. So yeah, so I guess I'm the captain now, innit? So I pick the order what we go in. So we've got to start with Savio, man. I know we've been going back and forth this morning.
Yeah.
Your opinion's changed at least 5 times today, I've seen, since all the other transfer news has come out. So go on then. What are we saying about Savio, first of all? What do you reckon?
In a simple sense, if we're selling him to get Rodrigo, it's a bit sad, but I back it.
This is what's changed, isn't it? This is what's changed.
Yeah, and to be fair, I did when I went live last night. Yeah, by the way, I was steaming last night, man. But when I went live last night, I went live this morning. I did say I'm disappointed with this news. I don't like it. However, the narrative will change when we find out if we're signing someone and who that player is. So, and that's where I was like, not fully losing my shit, but a little bit annoyed because obviously we could only go off the facts that we had because that's it. But as soon as the Rodrigo news come out, for me, it's like I can't be sitting here crying about selling Savio when we're potentially getting Rodrigo, man. I mean, I'm just all the guys on Twitter are doing the comps and that. They're putting out the compilations on Rodrigo, man. Some of the guys' goals and shit that this guy's been doing, man, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, like I'm a bit gutted that we're losing Savio because I think the guy's going to be a top player. But
I agree, yeah.
When you offer me Rodrigo as a swap for Savio and say we get 60 million for Savio and then 20 million for McAtee, we're basically getting him for like no money. Like we just like sell them two guys and you get like it's just a no-brainer. So a bit gutted that he's going, but you have to act in the best interest of the club, and that means get the best players that you can get. And Rodrigo's better than Savio. So
right now is my issue, though. Right now, obviously Rodrigo is that guy. Well, I'm probably not as big on him as a lot of City fans have been. And I mean, we've had this discussion. Like, I don't see Rodrigo as being worth more than 2 times what Savio is. Because even though Rodrigo's probably ready-made right now, for me, I think Savio's ceiling's so much higher. But then again, City have gambled so many times over the last few years on players that could potentially go and be great. And we've not really invested enough in the players that are already ready
in the ready-made. The thing is as well, yeah, bro. It's like you've got Pep for 2 more years, yeah, and I think there's a chance he might go at the end of this season, right? But let's just say he stays for his full contract, 2 seasons, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we not want to be giving this guy the ready-made players?
Yeah.
Like and I hear what you're saying, right, about the Savio thing. I don't know if I agree, but let's just say you're right, yeah, that Savio's got a higher ceiling than Rodrigo. Well, that ceiling, we're not going to see that ceiling for another 2, 3, 4 years. Well, Pep's not going to be in 4 years. So would we rather develop a player or have a player that can help us win Premier Leagues and Champions League in a couple of years of Pep Guardiola?
I just find the switch up a bit mad because I feel like we've been investing in these players a load recently. Even in January, like with the likes of Cousinov coming in and Vitor Hayes and Juma Baru, obviously, who's not at the club yet. We seem to be building the kind of foundation for the next 3, 4 years. And it looks like we've kind of gone back on that thinking now. Do you
not think they were just... I think we got the balance wrong. I think we got the balance wrong in that, like, listen, you've always got to have young players coming through, whether that's from the academy or you're buying them in young, yeah? Because you've got to be able to develop players and you can't be going out there and spending £100 million on every single player. Like, you just can't do it, right? So you need to have that. But you also need to have experience. You need to have players in the prime. And I think if you look at the squad makeup for me is like the actual building of the squad is wrong. We spoke about before, how many players do we have between the ages of 26 and 29? 1 or 2? Yeah, well, that's prime years. So we've got 1 or 2 players in our whole squad in their prime years.
And then we've got really young or really old.
Exactly. Then you've got the players who are the older players, yeah, who, we don't want to be seeing starting every game. Maybe they can do a job here, 10 minutes, whatever. And then you've got the players that are really, and I just think we've got too many youngsters in. And then something to add into it. Yeah. You've also got Turkey, who's still pretty inexperienced at the top level. Now, I don't know yet. It's literally just come to the top of my head. I've not even spoken about this at all. But because we missed out on Wirtz, who is experienced, he played for Germany. Bear. Remember, Turkey only just made his debut for France just last month. So if we would have got Wirtz, who's played for Germany, won the Bundesliga, load of games in the Champions League. Again, you've got a player there who's not in obviously his prime, but he's more experienced. We got Cherky, who's a second choice, who's a great option. Don't get me wrong.
Also a project player, though.
But also a project. Maybe City have just looked at it and gone, we like the players that we've signed, and we like the players we've got. We like Savio, we like Doku, we like Cherky, but we've got too many players on this side. So we need to do something here. And that when they've seen that Rodrigo's available on the market, because he's obviously available on the market, maybe they've gone, maybe we don't necessarily want to do it in terms of we're not desperate to do it, but we have to balance that squad out. That's what I think's happened, man. Because otherwise, because you got. Right, so, do you agree that this is Savio pushing this?
Originally last night, when I first saw it, I understood the crash out because it didn't seem like there was anything on the horizon. Like we'd all kind of wrote off any more transfer business for the rest of the window, hadn't we? Before this week and before the last 24 hours or so. So I did understand the crash out and everything, but then I did think in the back of my mind as well that if City are going to take this risk of letting a player whose ceiling could be as high as Savio's go, then surely you'd like to think they've got something in the pipeline. And it seems to me that if City have had the conversation about potentially bringing in a Rodrigo, then I don't know. Is it looking that good for Savio to be anywhere near the starting 11 after last year? So maybe he could go and be the main man elsewhere.
Yeah, but do you think? Yeah, but the question that I want to get to is it? Do you think that Savio's leaving because we've told him we're signing Rodrigo, or do you think we're signing Rodrigo because Savio's leaving? Like, which order do you think it's happened in?
This is the thing, innit? I think the club wouldn't let Savio go first without a plan beforehand. So I think that this decision now being made on Savio is because we've probably made an initial move on Rodrigo, opened up the discussions, and then we've kind of maybe the move from Spurs came first, but then we've gone and tested the water with Rodrigo, and then kind of let them know that Savio was available once we'd got the green light. I feel. Are you on the same boat with that? Do you reckon?
I think Savio might be pushing away, man.
Do you?
I think Savio might be because, bro, he's looking at Bob, coming through, and obviously doing really well. And then he's not getting a looking on the left. So basically, he's looking at Bob on this right hand side. Yeah. By the way, I think your mic's bugging up or something here.
Yeah, I can hear like feedback. Is that better? What happened?
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah. Oh no, it's still a bit weird. Can you click pause top right? Is there a pause button at the top right?
Yeah. Right, we're back.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is, it's still doing it. What the fuck? Is that me or is it you? Weird, isn't it? Like a crackly effect.
Right, we're back. Technical
difficulties. Yeah, it sounds now.
Right,
yeah.
Right, so we're talking about Savio, innit, and who made the move first. So go on, crack on.
Yeah, so basically, it's like I don't know, man. It is difficult to understand here because, like, I've City going to Rodrigo and getting Rodrigo and then telling that Savio he's got to go, or as Savio said he wants to leave. But people are saying, bro, I've seen people saying Savio wants to leave because he didn't play. Bro, you know he's our 8th most played player last season, and he's our 2nd most played attacker, and he played 3 out of the 4 games in the Club World Cup, and he probably played the most minutes in the Club World Cup, right? So either that, so that's not real, or has he seen Bob come through? He's seen Cherky, he's seen Foden and gone, you know what, my game time could be limited on the right, and Pep don't want to play me on the left, so I'm just not going to play. And then said he wants to leave, and then City going Rodrigo. I don't know. I feel like it's Savio who wants to leave. I think it's Savio who wants to leave, and City are going to go for Rodrigo. And you know what's interesting, bro? I don't know if you're seeing this, but last year, right, Sam Lee tweeted in May, And there must have been some Rodrigo news going on last May because he's tweeted something about Rodrigo. He put the interesting thing about Rodrigo, who would love to play for Guardiola at City by all accounts. That's what Sam Lee said. He said Rodrigo wants to play for Guardiola at City. But he also said is that he doesn't really like playing on the right, prefers to play on the left. Now, City don't need another left winger. Doku was played to sign on the right, but it turns out he's better on the left. There'd only be room if Grealish goes. And guess who's just got the here we go today?
Exactly, yeah, Grealish.
So,
but isn't Marmoush that guy out there though as well? Like, where's he gonna fit into all this if Rodrigo comes in? Like, I see Marmoush as more of a off the left kind of 10/winger.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably would say that we'll probably see a lot more false nine, and Haaland could have a lot more rest than he's been getting in the last couple of years. I mean, the last 2 years he's been picking up a couple knocks, hasn't he? Well, it's funny enough. First season when we had Julian Alvarez, yeah. No knocks. The guy wasn't getting any injured. He played pretty much every game. Then last couple of seasons, he has been picking up a couple of ankle injuries, and I think he had a hamstring once. So you could, and actually towards the end of last season, I actually thought we played better as a false nine. Yeah. So I think I just think that people deep way too much where everybody's going to play. Yeah. For me, get the squad, get quality players. The best players will play. Yeah. And you got to push each other. And if you're playing better than the other guy, you're training better than the other guy, you'll get in the team. That's the way I see it, bro.
Yeah. I think those three behind Haaland are all pretty interchangeable anyway. Even within the game, I can see if it's Marmoush, Foden, Cherki, obviously Rodrigo now as well. I think they're all pretty interchangeable within the game as well, picking up space on the left and right. Especially Cherki, he can go both ways, really, can't he? So I'm quite happy for him to all be popping up in different positions anyway. But yeah, it was a weird one last night, wasn't it, at first, really? Like, he was one of the maybe top 5 players that I wouldn't have ever expected to see anywhere near a move outside the club. When you take into how long he's been here, obviously his age. I mean, I was saying he's younger than Bob and McAtee, and for him to be on the chopping block before your likes of Grealish, your McAtees, obviously we turned down a move for Kovacic in the last few weeks as well. It just seemed pure strange, didn't it?
What do you make of the fee?
That 42, 43 one's not enough. I mean, I put a video out today as well, just a short, talking about you see some of the other players making moves in the Premier League in the last month or so. Your Madueke has gone for 50 mil. Your Elanga's gone for 50 mil. When you compare it to that and the fact that he's only been here a year, he's got a massive contract still at the club, then it just makes no sense at all, I think, that mid-40s range. If we start talking 60 plus, then I think that's more of a fair fee, I think. What do you reckon around that?
Yeah, no, 42 is a piss take. Absolutely embarrassing. But I think if we get 60 for him, we're not going to have a buyback. 60 million. And then I think that's probably about right. Because you even though Savio done all right last year, you're still banking on a lot of potential in it. You're still
one goal in the Premier League. When you stand back and look at it like that, for someone who played 30 plus games in the Premier League in a free for Manchester City, 1 goal stinks from it. At the end of
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you are still banking on quite a lot of potential to come through. Now, I think it will come through because I've seen him at Girona, and I've seen enough last year to think, this guy's got the ability, but there's no guarantee. So I think 60 million is probably about right. You get 20 for McAtee, that's 80, and they're talking 86 for Rodrigo. It's just a no-brainer. And it's like, again, going back to what we were saying at the start, I don't really want to sell Savio. I don't want to sell the guy, but
me neither.
Like, the aim of the transfer window is very, very simple. Buy better players than you currently have. That's it. That's it.
And currently, Rodrigo is better than Savio.
Currently, Rodrigo's better than Savio. Now, maybe Savio will be better than Rodrigo in 5-6 years' time. Who knows? Yeah, maybe next year. Maybe, but you can't just always have, like, you can't just be going off of, we'll hope. Like, you've got a Rodrigo here, Someone said in my chat before, he's got 40 GA in 60 Champions League games.
I did see that when I was
like he performs in the Champions League. And last year our Champions League was a shambles. Our record against the top 6 in the last 2 years has been really poor. We need players that can start doing it on a big occasion, like we did when we won the treble. In the last couple of years, we've not really had that. And this guy for me fits the bill. And he's only 24. So people want to talk about potential. Like, bro, you might get a bit of growth from Rodrigo. There's no guarantee that you've seen the best Rodrigo at 24 years old.
A lot of his time has been kind of fitting around the other superstars in that team as well, hasn't it? Like we've talked about what his favourite position is to play. If you're playing third fiddle to Mbappe and Vinny for most of your time there, then you're gonna have to kind of sacrifice a lot of those numbers that you'd expect.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be being totally transparent here if I didn't say that I'm not the biggest fan of Rodrigo. I'm really not. If you offered me now for Savio to go and Rodrigo to come in, I'd probably be 50-50 on it. Because I think that Savio can be a lot better than Rodrigo can be. And I'd be banking on him kind of finding that composure in front of goal, because I think he's a good finish away from being one of the best wingers in the world, in my opinion, Savio. It just, how long are we willing to wait to get there? I would have definitely given him at least another year. And if we are going to see the back of him, then I would expect it to be for a massive, like, world-class talent. And I don't really see Rodrigo as that guy right now. I know it's a tough one to say, because if he does come in, then obviously I'm going to back him and I'm not totally against it. But obviously, we're big fans of Elise. I'm a big fan of Doué as well, the wingers at PSG. So they're the kind of names that I'd want to be looking at, I think, if we was going to take the risk of getting rid of Savio.
Well, Doué still a bit projecty. Like, that guy still needs. I think Elise for me is the one.
He has already done it on the big stage, hasn't he, Doué?
He has, yeah, he has. But then Savio did well for Girona when he got him in the Champions League. So, you know, you could say he's done that. I watched him against Barcelona and he fucking cooked them as well. So, but Elise for me is the one that, like, if I could get anyone,
got away really, in it, because we was linked to him as well.
We should have got Elise when he went to Bayern, let's be honest. But Rodrigo for me is the thing is, and like you just saying then about Savio, you don't really want to get rid of Savio because he could become world-class player if he can start to finish. And this goes back to what we were saying 10 minutes ago when we were saying that, like, that's true, but we're also saying that about Bob. We're also saying it about Cherky. We don't know what's going to happen to him. We're also saying it about Doku. We're also saying it about fucking Nico Gonzalez. Yeah, we've got a massive if on Nunes. What's he going to be like? I ignore it. Like, there's just too many projects. There's too many players that need bedding into the team. And I just feel that, like, this for me, it just one of the starting 11 here that we're getting now by getting Rodrigo is just a player that we shouldn't have to worry about. It just should be. And listen, the wages this guy's going to come in on, the fee, this guy should be coming in and hitting the ground running. This is not signing Sane when he's 20 years old from Germany. This is not signing Savio from Girona. This is a 24-year-old who's played in the biggest games. This guy needs to come in and deliver straight away.
Do you not think, though, that if we are going to get loose Savio, then we need to be finding a winger that does put up those huge numbers? Because all we've moaned about the last 12 months is players putting up G&A. And we need that kind of those caliber players coming in. Well, obviously you talk about Rodrigo's Champions League numbers, which I saw in the stream before, which are obviously great, but 6 goals in La Liga last season in over 30 games, playing for Real Madrid in pretty much a 2-3 team league. Does that not slightly worry you that those numbers are mediocre compared to what you'd expect from him playing for a Real Madrid team? And is he not going to come in and be putting up similar numbers for City and we're going to be moaning about G&A again next season? Or do you really think he's going to come in and get over that 20 G&A straight away?
I don't think he needs to. Are you talking Premier League only here?
For Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he scored 6 goals in La Liga last year, didn't he? In like 30.
Yeah, but I think if he can get to 10 goals in the Premier League only, I think that's fine. I don't think we need...
He's got that in his locker straight away from the off, yeah.
I think I'd be disappointed if he can't hit 10 Prem goals, Rodrigo. Providing, obviously, he's playing a lot, like, obviously benched or whatever, but, like, going to the assumption that he's playing a lot, which you'd imagine he is if he's 86 million quid. I'd be disappointed if this guy can't hit 10 goals. I mean, listen, he hit 6 last year. He did only play 2,000 minutes. The year before that, he hit 10. The year before that, he hit 9. Like, he's hitting these numbers.
Are they great numbers that you want to be paying 100 mil for and replacing a player that you could potentially.
No, but the thing is with Rodrigo as well, yeah. Listen, if you're signing Rodrigo to put up 20 G&A just in the Premier League, you're signing the wrong player. If you want someone to do that, go and get Elise from Bayern Munich.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But I think but the thing is with Rodrigo, for me, I think Rodrigo, yeah, will work a lot harder industrially, going up and down the pitch. Yeah, defensive work as well is very, very good with Rodrigo. He's very, very versatile. And he'll put up decent numbers. I don't know if he's going to put up mega numbers, but he'll put decent numbers. But I don't think we're in a team now where we need him to put up mad numbers. Because you got Marmoush, you got Foden back, you got Cherki, you got Haaland. Now, if we were signing this guy in January instead of Marmoush, I would be saying we're signing the wrong player. Because in January, we needed goals. I mean, we needed a lot of stuff in January. But one of the things we needed was goals because we were way too reliant on Haaland. Now you've got Marmoush, who gets goals. Haaland's back in there, looking fresh. And you've got Foden and Cherki. And by the way, Foden. I mean, Foden last year got 14 goals in his bad year.
Yeah.
14 was our second highest goal scorer. And
then we need him backfiring next year, Foden, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But Bob's going to get goals. I don't think the signing of a winger now is as important for G&A output as it was maybe if we wouldn't have signed Marmoush and maybe even Cherki. I think Rodrigo is going to massively help us, especially in the big games. I think the big games is where you're going to see Rodrigo thrive if we get him. I mean, it's still early days, right? But if we get him, I think it's going to be the big games, man. He's up and down the pitch, works extremely hard defensively. And then as you saw against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, when he cut in on his left foot, bang, past the goalkeeper, he does have that special moment. I've been watching a couple of videos, man, this morning of him like, bro, the guy's a top player, man. And I just think he's had enough for Real Madrid, man. I think he's won everything there. He gets blamed for everything. You know what I mean? They won't blame Mbappe. They won't blame Vinny or Jude. And he just thinks, fuck this. I've had enough of it. Get me out of here. And City will welcome him with open arms, man.
Over there right now with Real Madrid last season. So I'm not surprised he wants out. I think he's had a bit of a hard time with the national team as well, hasn't he? With
I'm not sure what's going on. I think, because basically, didn't Ancelotti leave him out of the squad and just said like he needs to?
Because he didn't. Yeah, because I don't think he was his biggest fan whilst he was there. What was it? And then I think that's kind of carried on through to the international scene as well. But yeah, those kind of things do like get to the back of my head a bit, like thinking, why is this not working here? Why is it not working internationally as well? Like, is there something like? Do you know what I mean? There's no smoke without fire, is there? Like, is there something with Rodrigo that ain't quite right or doesn't quite fit in? Is his attitude the best when it comes to working with the managers he works for? But if anyone can bring that side out of him, it's Pep Guardiola, because going to a Pep Guardiola team, you've got to have that high work rate. And like you say, it does seem like when he's motivated, that Rodrigo has got it. So I just want him to come in and hit the ground running straight away. I don't want to be in this position in 6 months' time in January again when we're talking about our wingers having low numbers and not having like these output merchants that we've been craving for 18 months now, really.
But again, Reinders will chip in with goals, Rodri will chip in with goals. I just think that like last season we needed players that could score, whereas now I feel like that demand for buying players who will get us 30 goals or 20 goals, like a Mara style player, I don't think it's as strong. I think we just need players who can just deliver, instead of players that we have to coach and coach and coach and develop and develop and develop, only for Pep to leave in 2 years. And then some other guy comes and takes in. I think it's the time now to fucking put our foot on the gas and say, right, let's go and fucking win as many trophies as we can in the last 2 years of Pep Guardiola before the new guy comes in. And that's why we signed Tijani Reinders, Serie A midfielder of the year. We got Cherki and we got Premier League proven left back. And if we sell Savio, who's a good player, don't get me wrong, and one that I don't really want to sell, but you're going to get Rodrigo, no brainer, bro.
Yeah, I hope you're right, man. I know I am still 50-50 on it at the moment, just because I'm a little bit iffy about whether I think Rodrigo is a world-class talent or not. But I completely understand the sentiment of experience, big stage. Obviously, he's been playing for Real Madrid for a good few number of years in the first team now as well, including Champions League wins. Like he's done it all, hasn't he, at 24, like you say. So I completely understand that sentiment, and I'm more than open for him to come in. I'm just a little bit skeptical about the numbers, but hopefully he proves me wrong. And And hopefully we don't have a similar position with Savio that we're currently in with Parma, because I think City fans do have a lot of PTSD, don't they, from that decision that we made a few years ago, letting him go to Chelsea. Because I think at the time we probably all said, "Oh, 50 million is a good fee for Parma." Like he's barely played in the first team, couple of games here and there. He'd obviously looked good in that pre-season as well before he went, didn't he? But I think everyone was probably relatively happy with the fee that Chelsea paid in the first place at the time, wasn't there? It was 50
Yeah,
mil,
but it was, that's not the same situation because Palmer was better than Savio anyway.
Did you know that at the time, though?
Yeah.
LB?
Yeah, I did.
How, though? Based off what, though?
Based off watching him for City, bro.
I know.
The guy was a baller.
No, I understand that. But he'd obviously would not seen enough of him
I'd seen enough. A lot of other City fans seen enough.
It was always cameos off the bench. Obviously, he'd done it in pre-season. He'd done it in the Community Shield.
Super Cup.
Before he went, which is it's kind of pre-season.
Anyway, the point is like I think Palmer was better than Savio anyway. That's not the point. The point is we sold Palmer and then bought Doku, and then a year later bought Savio. Right?
But I think this is what I'm saying. I think this is why City fans crash out now every time we seem to be selling a player that's kind of got that potential to explode to that level, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but but the crashed out is valid if you're not buying a top class player. That's why. That's why I get always.
So the replacements weren't good enough, obviously. When
bro, if we would have sold Palmer and got Elise,
yeah.
No one's that ass. Like, still probably a little bit good, but you're not.
It's also tough in hindsight, though, as well, in it, because I don't think anyone knew then that Palmer would be what he is now. I'm convinced that nobody would have seen the left.
No,
obviously we knew he was going to be good, but nobody knew that he was going to be like people talking about him potentially winning a Ballon d'Or.
I agree. But the point is when you're selling these top class players, right? And then say we sold Bob, and then signed Carrizio from River Plate or wherever he fucking plays, in South America, a 17-year-old winger. And then Bob goes to Arsenal. They stick him out on the left. He tears it up. And we're bringing through Carrizio. And he's going to need 3 or 4 years. People go, what the fuck's going on? If we sell Bob and sign Lamine Yamal, then no one gives a fuck. So it's like, this is what I'm saying is if we're selling Savio or buying Rodrigo, I don't think that like this is why I'm kind of chill on the whole thing now. It's because like we're getting Rodrigo. I can't complain. If we were to sell Savio and then go and get another youngster, I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing?
You can't be swapping a project for a project, can you? Which is what we did with Palmer, really, wasn't it? We swapped.
Yeah, unless you get a project which is has even higher potential and is a little bit. So like I for example, Due, you mentioned him before. I think Due is still a project player, but he's clearly further down the line than Savio, and I think he's got higher potential than Savio. So I'd be open. I'd be open to the idea of that one, but I won't be open to the idea of selling Savio and going and getting like some random guy from Brazil or something like that. Nah, but we're not doing that.
Do you think this is? Do you ever think that this is kind of City's business model on the whole? Sometimes where we bring a player in, young from South America, similar to what we did with Alvarez, like we've done with Savio now, where we bring them in. Obviously build the reputation up and then sell them on for a profit. Is that part of the plan maybe when we're investing in some of these players, do you think?
It is, but I don't think I just think that this specific situation by selling Savio and potentially getting Rodrigo is more of a market opportunity.
Yeah.
I just don't think you just can't turn down Rodrigo, man. Like you don't even have to be the biggest fan of Rodrigo, right? But you can't be turning down Rodrigo. This guy's turned up on the biggest occasion. Like, look what he did to us.
Yeah.
He scored more goals in that one game than Savio scored in the Prem in the whole season. And they were both headers. This guy's meant to be a techie baller. So it's like, how can we turn down Rodrigo for Savio? You just can't do it. As much as I like Savio, as much as I think he will be mint, and I think if Spurs play him on the left, he'll absolutely cook. You just can't turn that down, man. I think that's a more market opportunity. Adding to the fact that you're probably going to sell this guy for 55, 60 million, and you're only spending 86 to get Rodrigo in, apparently, according to Fabrizio. It's just a no-brainer. Like, The horse has literally been taken to the water, and we just got to decide if we're drinking it, man. And it sounds like we are. That's basically what's happening.
Yeah. Do you think he does well there then, Savio?
If he plays left wing, he'll tear it up. I've always said it. I said it all season last year. I said it in the summer. I think Pep is playing him in the wrong position. I think he's better on the left. The stats prove it. I pulled him up again the other day.
He was better for us when he played at the beginning of last season from the left-hand side, wasn't he? For sure.
He's just a left winger. We bought him as a left winger as well, remember? When he played for Girona, majority of the games he played on the left wing. The majority of the games where I've seen him have his best games were on the left wing. And then this season, he's had his best games on the left wing. But
because when you're playing inverted wingers, that is usually on the basis that they're cutting in on the strong foot, aren't they, and shooting. And Savio's probably weakest attribute is his shooting. So it doesn't really make sense for him to be on that right-hand side and coming in to shoot, does it? So
exactly. Exactly. So it's like, yeah, spot on. Like, what is Savio's weakest part of his game? Shooting. Okay, when you're an inverted winger, you need to be strong at shooting because that's what you're doing. Your team, it's Iron Robin driller, isn't it? That's what we're doing. Iron Robin driller.
Exactly.
Yeah, we grew
Foden
up.
Does it, doesn't it? Foden does it.
Mahrez did it. Right. But this guy's worst attribute is his shooting. So you then put him in a position where he has to shoot a lot. Whereas on the left, that's not his main attribute. And when he's on the left as well, he can cut across the ball. So you're just going for pace. Whereas on the right, when you're cutting in, you are like looking to finesse the ball in it. I don't really think he's got that in him. So I think if Spurs play him on the left, I think he'll cook. He's cooked at Girona on the left. He's cooked at City on the left. He had 4 games for City on the left-hand side, in a row. He got 6 G&A last season in 4 games on the left-hand side.
And then we barely seen him there for the rest.
And then Pep just put him back on the right. It's just like, okay.
It is madness. Now, I know I think we've got to touch on this as well, because obviously we've had a bit of a row this morning in regards to the whole Savio-Doku debate. When it comes to the some of the crash out from the Savio deal last night, I've seen a lot of City fans, including yourself, mention that Doku should be sold as well. But my argument towards you has always been, I don't think Doku's got anything to do with this discussion whatsoever. This is strictly whether City want to sell Savio to Spurs or not. And I don't think Doku should have anything to do with the conversation whatsoever. Can you just kind of explain that to me, what your thought process is behind some of the statements that you've made regarding Doku in the last 12 hours?
I think Doku should be prioritised to be sold over Savio. Simple. That's what I think. Savio is a better player. He's better for our team. He's better for Erling Haaland than Doku.
But do you not think Doku would have gone if we had an approach for him, though? Like, I don't understand. What I'm confused is obviously someone's come in for Savio, haven't they? And I personally see Savio and Doku on a similar level. I think they've both got extremely high ceilings, but I think they both lack massively in composure in the final third.
Yeah.
So I see them both at different levels. And even if you ask the fan base, I think it would be a relatively even split. Maybe Savio slightly favoured, but I know a lot of City fans that have probably say Doku's better than Savio.
Yeah, that is split. It's very even. I think it's very even.
So I see this as a club has come in for one of them. They've shown interest. They've spoke about a fee that they're going to pay, and obviously that's the deal that we're going to go with. Now, if Spurs had come in for Doku, I think would be in the exact same situation, but the other way around. So what I've kind of been saying today is I don't know why we've kind of got to drag Doku just because Savio's going as like kind of an impulse reaction. Because at the end of the day, if Savio is going, it's looking more than likely that Doku's going to still be at the club next year, isn't it?
It's because, I'll tell you why, it's because I would rather us sell Doku than Savio, because I think Savio's a better player.
But we can't really push for that, can we?
Well, I mean, can we?
Unless a club wants him.
Could we? Again, we don't. If this is Savio pushing himself out, then obviously this conversation is hypothetical. But let's say it's not. Let's say Spurs have actually just approached us. Then can we not go back to Spurs and say, well, Savio's not for sale, but Doku, you can take Doku if you want? Can we not alert the market to say that Doku's for sale? Like, I just think
the club don't value Doku as higher as well.
Well, again, yeah.
It's 50-50.
They might do.
With the fan
they
base,
might do.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The club might think Doku's better than Savio. I don't. And for me, something that I've said for time is, if you've got Erling Haaland up top, I just think you have to have players.
This is your argument,
Yeah, and I think it's a legit argument. I think if you've got Erling Haaland on a 10-year contract, which you always like to point out, he's on a 10-year contract, earning 500 grand a week, and his main attribute is putting the ball in the back of the net, you need players that can facilitate that. You need players that can create chances for Erling Haaland. And Savio last year, I did the numbers before, I think got 7 assists. 7. So he clearly can relate with Haaland. Doku in 2 years has 1. So Doku clearly, yeah, and even if you're the biggest Doku fan, you can't argue with that. It's a fact. Doku and Haaland do not work together. It's an undeniable fact that they don't work together, right? So for me, it's not even about Doku or Savio. It's about Doku doesn't work with Haaland. Savio does. If Savio can learn to shoot, he's done. Doku's somehow got to find a way to start connecting with Haaland, and in 2 years, he's not been able to do that. That's why I would say, like, if I was to sell any of them, it would be Doku. That was the point.
Okay, that's fair enough. But obviously, when like tension's high, obviously shit's going on that we don't want. I've seen some people saying Doku's got to go as well. Then, like, we can't just start throwing all these guys out the door just because one player's going. Like, because Savio's going now, people are saying, right, we've got to sell Doku as well then, because like the obviously his numbers are similar. But you can't start moving like that now. You're not on that train, are you? Where you think if Savio's going, then we've got.
Oh, my fucking but no. My argument is just a preference thing.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's just a preference. I'd rather Doku be sold than Savio because I think Savio's better than Doku. Simple, right? But I'm not spitting me dummy out and saying, well, we're selling Savio, we've got to sell Doku. I think if you're selling Savio, you already need to buy a player. I think you sell Doku and Savio, I think you need to buy another player.
Exactly.
We've got 2.5 weeks left of the window.
And those are technically our only out and out wide players as well. Like I've spoke on a video today about we need versatility in this team as well. We need flexibility in this team as well. We need options. And but with some of the players that are coming in, Rodrigo, I know was linked to Javi Simmons as well. They're all in that same kind of mold where they've got the ability to drift in from wide and kind of be that 10 position as well, similar to Cherki, similar to Foden, similar to Marmoush. Now, if we lose Savio and then we think about losing Doku as well, we've pretty much lost all of our high and wide pace that we can bring off the bench, strike fear into fullbacks in the Premier League. You've heard of some of the things that like Aina said last year about having to face Doku and stuff like that. We cannot get into this position where we're too one-dimensional, man, and we have too many of the types of the same player. So
well, on that point,
have that option.
Yeah, on that point, I think something that hurts Savio, and this is coming from me, who prefers Savio over Doku, is that I think Bob is more similar to Savio, but I think he's better than Savio. I think he's already better than Savio. Whereas
maybe
Doku
the club have let him know that as well.
Maybe. And I mean, you've seen it against Palmero. That for me, I thought Bob was probably one of our best players. And whereas Doku's completely different to Savio.
So everything was got,
So it's like, Savio like probably doesn't get utilized in the right position because I think he should get played on the left. But then who would I rather play left, Savio or Bob? I'm still taking Bob over Savio on the left. Yeah. So again, maybe when we're looking at like who's better or whatever, maybe you got to park that to one side and go, do you really want to keep Savio and Bob when Bob's just going to be playing over Savio? Or would you rather keep Bob and Doku? And even me, who prefers Savio over to Doku, can go, all right, I prefer Savio to Doku, but Savio's not getting in my team because Bob is. At least if I've got Doku, I've got something completely different. Like, last 10 minutes of the game.
Exact like-for-like rival as he at the club currently, I don't think.
Nah, and he'll never have one because the way he plays is fucking wild. But like last 10 minutes of the game, you need a goal. Just fucking tell Doku to sprint at his defender, go down to the penalty. That's something about Doku, actually. I know I'm going off tangent a little bit here. Something about Doku is the amount of dribbles that he does. He doesn't win a lot of fouls, does he? Because of penalties. Because Sterling was a bit like Doku. Sterling used to take players on all the time, but Sterling used to win so many penalties.
He used to go down like.
Well, fucking Doku should start going down though because those penalties are important.
That's one of his strengths, though, Doku. To be fair, though, as well, that he does stay on his feet and he does wrestle players off him, doesn't he? When they are trying to.
I'd rather him go down and get a penalty and get us a goal, bro.
There was a couple of goals we got last year though, where he stayed on his feet.
Maybe not every time, obviously, but like Sterling won us a lot of penalties, man. I'd be interested to know how many penalties he won over his career at City. But Doku
diving quite a lot as well.
Yeah, he did.
No, I do get the sentiment with it. But yeah, obviously, there's always going to be a case and a split in the fan base when it comes to Savio and Doku. So when one's spoke about, it just tends to happen that the other one's always brought into the argument as well. Just
Yeah,
because
last night was mad because obviously everyone on
Yeah.
Twitter was losing their shit, and I put my tweet out about selling Savio over Doku and that. But
that's what I commented on. I think, going, what you doing, man? Like, you can't be acting like this straight away. Just chill.
no, but obviously at the time I was seeing it, yeah, and I was just pissed off
Yeah.
because I was like, why the fuck are we selling
And
Savio?
we didn't know the plan in that they've obviously got today.
Yeah,
now.
obviously we had no idea that we was getting any links to anyone, and then obviously as soon as I hear the links to Rodrigo, I'm like, oh, I'm chilling now. But last night I was well annoyed. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Why are we selling Savio, man? But obviously, as the days go on, I think we'll get some more info tonight. Maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll start getting a little bit more news and shit. But I don't know, man. It's kind of mad. But I knew this morning, bro, when I seen all the news dropping about Grealish, McAtee, and Savio, I was like, something's going on here. I was like, something's going on because there's no way that City are
months
releasing
on it and nothing. Yeah,
nothing. And then on the same day, Grealish, McAtee, and Savio are all leaving the football club. I was like, nah, so much going on behind the scenes. City have got to a point where they've gone, right, we just need to get rid of some of these players now. Like, because obviously, apparently they wanted 42 million for McAtee 2 weeks ago, and now they're going to settle for 20. Why? Have they got to the point where they're like, right, we prefer 42, but we just got to get rid of these players because we need to get this one. Because the thing is as well, maybe Rodrigo's given us a deadline because Arsenal need a left winger. So maybe Rodrigo, because obviously you don't hear everything.
I think that kind of has forced our hands a bit as well. The movement of other clubs,
maybe Rodrigo's camp has come to City and said, "Listen, we've got a deal here, agreed in principle to go to Arsenal, yeah, but he wants to join City. We know he wants to join City. Sam Lee said he wants to join City, yeah, on that tweet that I read out before. We've seen the glaze from Rodrigo. We know he wants to play for Pep, but maybe they've set a City right. If you don't get this deal done within the next 10 days." We got to Arsenal. And that's why City have gone, fuck it, let's get all these players gone and we're just going to get this deal done, man.
Yeah, it won't surprise me at all, man. Won't surprise me. What do you think about these deals now? Because I know, let's start with McAtee quickly first. I know a couple of weeks ago, obviously, the news came out that it was kind of that 25 to 30 range. And at the time, I said, take it, man. Just take it now. The guy obviously wants to go and play first-team football elsewhere. I personally think that's a good deal for McAtee. I see him as a good player. But I don't think he's going to be anywhere near the starting 11 or squad this season. So to get close to 30 million for him at that point a few weeks ago, and now because we were so stubborn trying to hold out for a bigger fee, but the people online were talking about 40, 50 million potentially for him, which I thought was ridiculous, in my opinion. And now it looks like we're going to end up taking an L, a 5 million or so L, trying to panic selling in order to get this Rodrigo move over the line. What's your thoughts behind kind of where you value McAtee at, and at what point would you want to see him go?
Yeah, I value, because of his contract, I value him at 25.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, when I saw the news about the 42, I was like, you ain't getting 42, man.
No chance.
He's only got a year left on his contract, and he's just simply not done enough for City.
No.
Or even Sheffield United when he was in the Prem in the last two years to justify that fee. So I think 25 is good. I think it's a fee that, straight profit for City. I think Forest are getting a sick deal on that, by the way. And I think he'll do well.
They know now that we need to sell, though, don't we? And that's why they'll probably lowered that fee,
Yeah. So I think it is what it is, man. I think that there is a player in there, 100%. And I think that if he can go there, he needs to start week in, week out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to get in there, get a sense of what's going on, get a sense of the tactics and that, and eventually, when he understands it all, he'll click. The difference with Palmer just walked into Chelsea and was like, "Give me the fucking ball, mate."
Took a penalty for his first fucking Prem game.
Yeah, Palmer's just got this Palmer's got a bit of an ego about him, but also is obviously comes across as a bit of a dumb guy, and that's kind of how it comes across. I don't know if that's actually legit in real life, but we've all seen videos of him saying stuff, and it's that
goes in his favour a bit.
That's what I'm saying. It goes in his favour.
Pressure, or
he just goes on the pitch 50,000 people. I'm just kicking a football. Whereas a lot of players, they might be better than Palmer or whatever, but they overthink it and that. So, I think McAtee will do well. I just think he needs time, man. And he did have a few opportunities last year, and as much as I like him, he didn't really take them.
No, I don't think so either. I know we scored a few goals, and I think that seems to be his best attribute, in my opinion, that he's got kind of the knack to pop up in areas to score tap-ins, and he's got that decent movement off the ball where he can come into these areas from midfield or from the right and get on the score sheet. But his all-round game, it just is a little bit meh for me when I have seen him in in most of the games, really. And then obviously he'll end up getting on the score sheet because of his good movement off the ball, and that'll kind of hide and cover up the rest of the.
He'll get goals though. Yeah, I hear it, but at the same time, when he gets going, he'll get goals. He'll be an output machine.
That's what people want to find, really, in it, output machines. I mean, I talk about how shit of a footballer I think Salah is all the time, but the guy puts up numbers for days. You could watch him drop a stinker for 88 minutes, which is what he does most weeks, and then he'll score a goal and get an assist in the last 5, and all will be forgotten about it. So maybe you'll see McAtee have obviously not a similar career to Salah, but have a similar impact where he won't necessarily be in the game loads, but he'll put up decent goals and assist numbers. Do you think he plays off that right hand side for Forest, or start picking up the centrally again like he did?
I think to start with, maybe on the right. They just lost Alanga as well, innit? So maybe get him in there, get him in the team, play him right wing for a bit, and then maybe once he's got his feet going and that, like proper, knows what he's doing and that, maybe get him in the midfield. I think attacking mid's probably the best position for him, like a David Silva style, but he's still young, early days, get him right wing in it, just farm the Alanga role for a bit. So I'd say.
Yeah, man. First, and obviously we've seen the news about Grealish. I know that feels like a long time coming for me. I think we probably potentially should have maybe even looked into this in January or potentially even last summer. I think Grealish has been poor, in my opinion, for the last 2 years at least. So it looks
he had 5 good months for us. That's the easy way of saying it.
Yeah, pretty much in the whole time. I've been really critical of Grealish. I have nothing against him as a bloke, and people think we get this confused a bit sometimes. Like, as a bloke, he's one of the nicest guys you're willing to fucking lay eyes on like the videos that you see of him and stuff like that. Absolute vibes when it comes to off the pitch, like the treble winning celebrations. But you can't love a player at your football club and as a business based off vibes alone. And I think that's what his best attribute for the club has been. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the vibes are the best thing about him. When you talk about him strictly as a footballer, that's where he comes up short, innit? And when you talk about the fee that we paid for him, the money that he's on, I think we've actually got a bit of a steal, to be fair. I wasn't expecting the wage split to be as it's reported. Have you seen it? It's supposed to be 85%, 15%.
If that's true, then
I think that's
play. Yeah. I think that is absolutely wild. If it's true that he's on £300,000 a week and they're paying 85%, but the thing is though, they've got new stadiums, so they probably want like a marquee signing, don't they? And Grealish is a bit of a legit one because it's marquee signing and you're not actually buying him. So you're not actually spending any like actual real money. Like obviously it might be a loan fee or whatever, but like there's no actual fee. So it's a bit of like it's a win-win for Everton, really, isn't it? Like, but
he's got that kind of Beckham-esque vibe about him, hasn't he? Like shirt sales wise, like a bit of a pin up off the pitch. Like
I can't tell you what I'm absolutely buzzing to wait for. Is some of our fan base when this guy plays in a 10 and a counter-attacking Everton side, running into space and slamming it, and they go, "See, he would have done that." It's like, no, he wouldn't, because we don't play it against we don't counter-attack like that. We dominate the ball. So, it is what it is. Now, if we're only paying 15%, then fair dues, man. That's a mad deal. That is a mad deal. I think
it said it's been reported about the obligation to buy is about 50 million as well.
It's not obligation though; it's option, isn't it? So it's option. That won't get activated. He'll be 31, bro, by the end of his loan.
And he's also got to have a pretty much like out of this world season for him to do.
And if he does, he won't go to Everton, will he? Respectfully.
True. Someone else is bound to come in for him out there. Because I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I always thought your Tottenhams, your Chelsea's, maybe even Arsenal or a European club in the Champions League, I thought it would have been that kind of team who come in for him. So I'm quite surprised with the Everton move, to be honest. But that might be the kind of where Grealish shines, though, because I always feel like he became that guy for Villa, didn't he? Because he was like a good player in a very like small shit pond, wasn't it? and then he's kind of just come and blended in at City and just fell below those standards. So maybe Everton will make him shine a little bit more again, similar to what he was like at Villa. Do you think he does well there next year, or?
I think he does all right. I think he does okay. I don't think he'll do amazing. I think he'll do okay. He'll probably score some nice goals from the out of the box. He'll probably have some nice clips. But again, like I watched the like clips of Grealish at Villa, and everyone shares them and goes, "Look at what Pep's ruined the guy." I'm looking at the clips and I'm like, we never get into those situations. I'm watching Grealish run 30, 40 yards in the opposition half with like one defender near him. And I'm like, when does he ever get that at City? Yeah, he gets the ball. They've got the whole teams behind him, and it's just like, so I just think that like it is what it is. Like he'll go 100 million. Like obviously was not well spent, but we won a treble. He was a key part of the treble.
And people cling to that for dear life, don't they? About this treble.
Yeah, but why can't you say both? I always say I think he's a bit of a flop. I think he's been flop-sided. But
I actually think that treble run is overrated though from Grealish as well.
Yeah, probably a little bit. But at the same time, but at the same time, because of what we won and because we won the treble, even though it's a flop, would I go back and sign him again? I probably would. Because you can't guarantee me that we would have won the treble if we signed someone else. You don't know that. So even though it was a flop, I probably still would have signed him. If I go back and you say, right, you're going to sign him, he's going to be a flop, but you're going to win 3 Premier Leagues in a row and a treble, but he's going to be a flop. I'd be like, all right, sign him. So
it's like the butterfly effect, isn't it? Someone else could have come in. Might have never happened, man.
You might never have done it.
Might not have got those celebrations afterwards either on the bus.
Well, people always try and do too much on this. Yeah, people either go, "Oh, it was absolutely crucial to our treble, and without it, we wouldn't have won."
That's where I find it ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's like bullshit. But then some people go, "Oh, it was actually dog shit, and he got carried, so we won the treble with 10 men." Is that what you're saying? So again, like with everything, there's always balance. It's somewhere in the middle. I don't think he was crucial to the team. I think that's BS. But I also don't think he was shit and like got carried. Because if that's true, by the way, bro, if that's true, then that team's the greatest team that's ever lived on ever. Because that means we won the treble with 10 men.
Yeah, true.
So I don't believe that.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's overrated. His treble run, like I don't think he had. I think he had pretty poor games really in the FA Cup final and the Champions League final. But there was defo big games in the run-ups to the main events where he did perform quite well. So he was obviously part of it. But obviously, I don't think he was as crucial as people make out. Like he's in like the top 2-3 players in.
If you went back, would you sign him again or not? Or would you take the risk?
It's
you
hard
won 3 Premier Leagues and a treble. Why would you just re-sign him?
It's hard to say. You've got to, ain't you, based off the butterfly effect? Because say if we got someone else, for example, at that exact same point, we might not have won fuck all, man. Do you know what I mean? So I'd never change anything that's happened over the last 3 years. But if you take a step back and look at the deal on the whole, I don't think it can be anything more than a flop, just based off the salary and the contract that he's on, and obviously the money that we paid for him as well. 6 months of good form in that time, as well as going through a spell of scoring 1 goal in a whole calendar year as part of a Man City front three. It's just not good enough, really, is it? Let's be real.
It's not good enough, and that's ultimately why I don't think that's ultimately why it's been sold. I think why it's been sold is because what you mentioned, probably off the pitch and all that kind of shit that's gone on. And I always say I don't know anything that's gone on, but I can look at his minutes on Transfermarkt and I can look at the data. And before Christmas, the guy was playing quite regularly, and then after Christmas, his minutes. So did something happen at Christmas? I don't know, but something went on because look at, bro. It's not even speculation. It's just looking at the facts. The facts tell us that before Christmas, the guy was playing quite a lot. And then after Christmas, the minutes just disappeared. But then he put him in against Madrid.
Yeah.
So it's been with the whole thing with Grealish has been proper weird this year.
He might be out for the majority of the season again with injuries as well. He was always injured last year, wasn't he? So he might be coming to that stage now where he plays 3 games and then he's out for 4 or 5 again. Do you know what I mean? He's always seems to have been picking up these niggles recently as well, hasn't he? And when that usually starts happening to a footballer, that's when they start declining. So, I mean, for the bloke that he is and for the vibes that he brings, I hope he does well, man.
Same. I hope he does well, man. I can't
We'll
lie.
have to see. He's never put up great numbers even before he came to City, has he? So it's not like I think he's going to score 10 goals, 10 assists next year.
No.
But I hope he can get a bit of a culture.
And the only other thing that winds me up, yeah, is when people say, "Oh, well, Pep's not playing him in the right position. It's Pep's fault. It's Pep's fault." Well, Delph wasn't played in the right position. Zinchenko wasn't played in the right position. Nunez isn't being played in the right position. Yeah, Foden's been played all over the gaff. Alvarez wasn't playing in the right position when he was playing in attacking midfield. Marmoush probably isn't playing in the right position.
No.
So everyone else is playing in the wrong position and playing in different positions and getting on with it. So why does Pep Guardiola always get blamed for playing Grealish left wing and like everybody else just gets on with it? You're a professional footballer. You can't always play in the position that you want to play in. Sometimes you got to be moved about and that. It's your job as a player to put in the performance. You're on 300 grand a week. Like, find a way in it. So all these people that blame Pep, I just think that's absolutely crazy. And like they say, "Oh, Pep's telling him not to take players on."
Yeah,
what?
Stupid.
Every single player that we've
Pep
ever
turned
listened
Sterling to one of the best wingers in the world.
Exactly.
Man.
Every player, like Thierry Henry spoke about it, Mahrez has spoke about it. They always say, Pep says, "I'll get you to the final third. Yeah, you follow my instruction, and as soon as you get to the final third, you do what you want."
I know. Do you think Doku would be playing like he does if Pep was holding him back?
Exactly.
Well?
It's mad, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
People just try and force the hate in it on Pep. That's what I think.
Isn't it? Right, we'll probably wrap up soon. I'm going to give you a couple of yes and no questions before we go, just to summarize kind of what's gone on the last week or so. So just give me a yes or no answer, and we'll see what you think. Yeah. Do Spurs sign Savio?
Yes.
Do Man City sign Rodrigo?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we do.
You're sending it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going, yeah.
First. Do City sign a right back before the end of the window?
No.
Did City sign Javi Simmons?
No.
Do City win the league next year?
Oh, I don't know, man. Rodrigo gives me a bit more confidence, man.
And you said yes. You said yes to Rodrigo coming, so that might play a part in it.
If we get Rodrigo, yeah, we're gonna win the league if we get Rodrigo, which I've changed my mind on. Yeah.
Yes. Is Ederson City's number 1 in January?
In January. No, I don't think he will be.
No. What about first game?
I think he starts, and then I think poor form gets him dropped.
Do you reckon?
I reckon he's going to play, and I reckon he's going to keep making mistakes and get dropped.
Will Ruben Diaz be City's starting centre back in January?
Yeah.
You do. Is that based off Stone's injuries or lack of faith?
I thought he played all right the other night against Palermo. I
thought Kuzanov looked great though against Palermo.
Well, Kuzanov looked mega as well, but I thought Diaz, he was playing next to a Akanji as well, who should be last choice centre back now for me. I thought he played all right, and I think like a lot of the stuff, like I thought he looked all right, man. We'll see, but yeah, I reckon he'll play. Stones will be injured probably, so yeah, he probably will be our centre back.
Okay, Haaland Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Okay. First, I'm quite happy with that so far. That's your lot for today. We'll try and think of some more for next time. But very quickly before we go, obviously it's our first game at the weekend. I just want LB's starting 11 for the first game against Wolves. Strongest team. What we're going in with?
Okay. I think we'll go Ederson, Nunez, Diaz, Gvardiol, Aït-Nouri, Tijani Reinders, Nico Gonzalez, Cherki, Marmoush, Foden. Oh, Foden's probably not going to be fit. Bob, Haaland. I start Haaland.
So Bob on the basis that Foden's not available.
Yeah, because obviously he wasn't at the thing, was he? So yeah, he wasn't at the game at Palmer. Apparently he's got a knock. So yeah, I probably wouldn't risk him this early in the season if he's got got some pain in his ankle. Yeah. So yeah, start Bob. Bob was mint. Bob was
Yeah,
so
he
good,
was.
man. And I just think throw him in, see what happens, man.
Now, on that basis, obviously, I agree with that too. I think that's probably the same that what I'd go for with Foden and Bob, dependent on the fitness. What team does Pep Guardiola go for on Saturday or at the weekend?
What does he do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think he still picks Ederson, Nuno. I think the back four's the same.
Yeah, I think that's the same. Yeah.
Midfield changes. So it'll be Reinders, Bernardo.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll go.
I know you're dying to say Gundogan already, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I don't think he does play Gundogan. I think he'll play Bernardo, Reinders, Cherky, Foden, Marmoush, Haaland.
Fair play, man.
I think that's what he'll do.
I can't see him dropping Bernardo. He's made him captain. I can't see him not playing him first game.
Hmm.
I think that's going to play a little
No,
bit.
Bernardo's going to start the majority of the games if he's been made captain,
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Right, fair play. Well, that's pretty much bang on an hour. I've smashed that. No late beat on here. We're no running over for 3 hours. But obviously, thanks for coming on, man. First time making a video on that. I couldn't have thought of anyone better to do it with than the egg himself. So I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, I guess we see what happens Saturday.
Yeah, before you go,
Go on.
Before you go, I asked Grok, give me some
Yeah.
questions, yes or no questions regarding City. So I'm going to ask you some in it before we go.
Go on.
Like, I'm not asking these questions. Grok's asking the questions, right? So
I was thinking off the top of my head, man, on the fly. Me, I need to
Yeah.
start making notes before we go on it.
It says, should Manchester City be held accountable for inflated transfer fees that disrupt football market?
Should Man City be held accountable for for like the inflated transfer fees?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Because I think we've always spent a lot, but I don't think we've ever, bar Grealish, we've never really gone to those stupid levels of like 100 mil plus players, have we?
I know.
So
Yeah, that's something that I always say. Like, people always say that to us, like, "Oh, you always spend their money." It's like, yeah, we do, but like at the same time, like we very rarely go to the very, very big fees.
No, we don't. And by like the ready-made superstars, it's always like your 50, 60 millions, De Bruyne's, Mahrez's, Rodri's, who all then become world class at the football club.
Exactly.
So I disagree with that. I think that's a no.
What's this one? Is Erling Haaland's goal scoring record at Manchester City inflated because of Manchester City's dominant playing style?
No, because his goal record's the same wherever he's played. Norway, Leipzig, Salzburg, Dortmund. I think his numbers have been the same everywhere he's gone. So I'm going to say no.
Do you think Ederson's aggressive goalkeeping style leads to unnecessary risks for Manchester City?
No, because I don't think we'd be able to play the football that we have the last decade without Ederson in that. So the reward by far outweighs the risk for me. So that's a no for me as well.
All right, final one, random, but obviously it's not me, it's AI asking this. Proper random. I don't know why it's put this in there. Should Raheem Sterling have faced more criticism for leaving Manchester City to join Chelsea in 2022?
I think just the way that he did it, I'd say yes, because of the talk of him winning Ballon d'Ors and
facts.
I think he kind of went with the attitude that he was almost bigger than the club. And I'm of the opinion that Pep Guardiola turned him into the player that he became in the end. So Raheem Sterling, technically as a footballer, should have gotten to nowhere near the levels that he managed under Manchester City. And for him to then leave and start saying that he's chasing Ballon d'Ors and thinking that he's going to go and be the main man elsewhere at Chelsea and Arsenal, was wild to me. So in hindsight, I don't. Yeah, I think he deserved the criticism and probably more. Yeah, because he's proven now since going to Chelsea and Arsenal that he's not at that level where he can go and fit in a different system. So I think Pep made him the player that he was personally.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's it. The rest are about FFP boring.
Yeah, boring. We'll have to hit some more up next time, man. But yeah, Obviously, thanks for coming on. And I don't. How do you usually do this next bit, man? Like and subscribe, hit the follow button, yeah.
Yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe
Hit the
button, get your comments
like
in
and
down below.
subscribe, boys. Yeah, ask us some yes and no questions if you feel like it below. And yeah, Wolves at weekend. Hopefully we can get the W. Hopefully we can get some of these deals across the line. Because I don't like going into the new season with things still up in the air. Do you know what I mean? So if this is going to happen, I think the quicker it happens, the better. So yeah, let's see what happens, man. And yeah, speak to you all after the game at the weekend, I reckon.
We got, man.
Peace out, guys. See you later.